What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today is Monday, October 3rd of 2022, which marks the end of the official Oktoberfest celebration in Munich, Germany. So to close out the festivities, I thought I would review a beer from Warsteiner, and they're out of Warstein, Germany, and this is their Oktoberfest Special Edition, and this is the 2022 release. So this is a Märzen style Oktoberfest that comes in at 5.9% alcohol by volume, 21 IBUs at the time of review. I don't know exactly how old this bottle is, but it does have a best by date of March 10th of 2023. We're just under 6 months away from that date, so we should be fine. So the official Oktoberfest celebration here in Germany is coming to an end, and I am reviewing the only authentic imported German Oktoberfest of this year for myself. Starting to run low on those, and so I kept it to one this year, and I am reviewing it on the last day. I'm probably going to do that going forward in future years. And full disclosure, I've had this one before, but it's been a good 7-8 years. Back in the mid-2010s is the last time I had this, along with like their Pils and maybe their Dunkel. Haven't reviewed anything from them on the channel, so thought I'd start with the Oktoberfest. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Now, I don't remember this one being all that amazing to me back then. I thought it was solid. I think I gave it like a, back then I would post on both, not on tap, not all the time, but it'd be Beer I've Can. I think you gave it like a 3.5, something like that. So we'll see if I like it more now, but I've been enjoying Oktoberfest more and more over the years. So maybe I'll like it a little bit more than back then. I don't know, I guess we'll see. So crack it open here, put it over there. A little bit of skunkiness, but not much. Let's give it a proper pour here. So what's funny about this is I thought this was a Märzen style Oktoberfest, and it does look, you know, a little bit darker than a Fest beer for sure, but it's not as dark as a lot of them, honestly. It's yeah, on camera, I mean, in person definitely has more of a darker orange kind of vibe. On camera, I don't know if it's going to look, you know, darker than what I'm seeing, but this is kind of in between like a Fest beer and an Oktoberfest. It kind of has like, you know, it's orange with some yellow tinges. Doesn't look quite like a Fest beer, but not exactly like a Märzen either. Has about a finger of a bright white, really, I'd say creamy looking head to some degree. Nice carbonation. Looks solid. Clarity's great. It's a lager, the whole nine. Let's get a nose. Yeah, it's nice. So it has a very like mild kind of malt character to it. A little bit of toasted white bread, caramel, maybe a little biscuity note. Has a nice graininess to the malt character. And this is malt forward for sure. No questions asked. On the back end, there's this little earthy, slightly spicy kind of hop note. Yeah, it smells super crushable. And this is one of the bigger ABV ones I've had this year at 5.9. So it smells like you could crush a lot of these. And I don't know, do they say Märzen anywhere on here? It just says Oktoberfest. I'm pretty sure this is their Märzen as opposed to their Fest beer. Let's see, does it say anywhere? It doesn't really. Regardless, this is an Oktoberfest beer, whether it's a Fest beer or a Märzen. It definitely looks more to the Märzen side, but yeah, it smells really good. Let's get into it. Cheers, everyone, or should I say, Prost. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's better than I remember it. But I could say that for most Oktoberfest because I'm starting to get into the style a bit more over the past couple of years. I really, you know, people ask me about reviewing beer on YouTube and whatnot. I shouldn't say the one thing, but one of the biggest advantages or things that I've learned from reviewing is that you got to be open-minded to different styles. And if you drink enough within a style, you'll find something you enjoy. And this is, you know, over the last 4.5 years that I've had my channel. And this style, especially whether it's a Fest beer or a Märzen, is a prime example of I didn't really care for these back in the mid to late 2010s, but as I reviewed, you know, a handful of them each year, and then this year, this is the 10th one, and I actually have a couple more. This is not the last one. I actually have a couple more that were given me by friends. I picked one up. As I review more each year, I'm really starting to dig the style. So let's get into the review real quick. I just wanted to point that out because there might be styles out there that you don't like, but maybe you've only tried a couple within the style. I really recommend trying more than a couple and see, you know, if you have a half dozen or 8 of them and you're just like, all right, not for me, I get it. But, you know, a style like this, I'm starting to dig. Anyway, buying this 5.9%, this is a medium, touch over medium. This would be something that I think people would label full-bodied for the style. It has a real nice big heft to it for just sub 6%. The mouthfeel is crisp, it's clean, it's really refreshing, spritzy carbonation, but smooth on the finish. And then the taste, while the flavors I think are a bit more subdued and muted compared to others that I've reviewed this year, they're really nice. There's like a toasted bread, little biscuity flavor, caramel more so than toffee, maybe a drizzle of a little bit of honey, a touch of like a dried apricot, just a very slight fruitiness, not that much. That hits me right at the front of the palate. As it passes through, it transitions into this spicy, very slightly spicy, earthy, almost floral-esque kind of hop note. And yeah, it finishes semi to full-on dry. Mild bitterness, but that dryness is big. Balances out because you get all that sweet malty goodness up front, and then that kind of dry to full-on dry, or semi-dry to full-on dry finish, and it really balances out to almost perfection with the balance. This is super easy to, like, for me, I would say not my favorite from Germany at all. Like, totally not. Eyinger probably still my favorite. Polliner's up there. There's a lot of good ones. But for the price point and availability and whatnot, I really don't hate this at all. You know, some people, I've seen some of my outside friends like, oh, I don't like it at all. This is, to me, very inoffensive. The flavors aren't popping like maybe an Eyinger would, but they're really nice. There's no off flavors. A slight detection of like a sulfur note, which is typical for like a lager. It's, you know, not off-putting or anything. It's just very, very, very minute. 5.9%, it's bigger than most I've drank this year, and you can't really detect it, which is nice. So I like this. Is it my favorite? Like I said, no. Do I appreciate it? I do. So Warsteiner, their Oktoberfest Special Edition, the 2022 release. I have no problems giving this beer right here a high 3.75. I'll go 3.85. Almost gets in the low 4. I think if the flavors maybe pop slightly more, get into a low 4 or even a 4. But as is, I dig this one. It's a good Oktoberfest. And this brings me to price point availability. Price point on this, excuse me, I think it was like $9.99 for a 6-pack, which is, yeah, that's great. And then availability, you should see this wherever you see some Warsteiner. Go to your local bottle shop or grocery store, go to the import section. You should see this one. Maybe not anymore. Maybe it's gone at this point by the time you see this review, but I'd imagine these are on the shelves probably throughout October. And yeah, not much more to say about it. I appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Post in the comment section if you've had this one or you've had anything from Warsteiner. I think this is pretty damn solid, and I'll have no problems drinking the rest of that. And yeah, not much more to say about. So the end of the official Oktoberfest celebration typically would end my Oktoberfest reviews. But as I said earlier, I have a couple that were given to me by friends when we hung out at the 2022 Beer Tuber Palooza. Then in addition to that, I picked up an oak-aged fest beer from Threes Brewing here in New York that I had no idea they did. And I've never had an oak-aged fest beer. I've had oak-aged Märzens and Imperial oak-aged Märzens, but never had an oak-aged fest beer. So I thought that was fun. So we'll have a couple more Oktoberfest beers throughout the course of October, and then it's pumpkin beer time. I'm sorry for everybody out there who hates pumpkin beer, but I don't. Anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Till the next one, Prost.